This is your host Yasmeen Aftab Ali from channel Yasmeen Aftab Ali and program Yasmeen Aftab Ali ke saath. I am going to take you to a beautiful visual tour of Chitral, a heaven upon earth, a place in KP that is a must on your itinerary if you're planning to visit and planning a holiday, to be in touch with nature and in touch with yourself. We are going to talk about a little bit about the history of Chitral for the history buffs. We are going to talk about its geography, its culture, its heritage, its food, and its music. We are also going to tell you about an out of the world living experience in the Ayun Fort Inn, Ayun, Ayun. And we are also going to take you through a tour of the Kailash Valley. It's an amazing place that I had the fortune to visit. It is just so incredibly beautiful. So, historically speaking, nothing definitive is recorded about the town's first settlers. In the 3rd century AD, Kanishka, the ruler of Kushan Empire, occupied Chitral. In the 4th century AD, the Chinese overran the valley. Racist rule over Chitral began in 1320 and came to an end in the 15th century. From 1571 onwards, Chitral was the capital of the princely state of Chitral under the rule of the Kathur dynasty. Now, what is the Kathur dynasty? There were collateral branches ruled by the sovereign. Later, the princely state of Chitral and its neighbors in the eastern Hindu Kush region for over 450 years till 1947. Today, Chitral is divided into 2 districts, the upper Chitral and the lower area, under the KP government. Chitral is bordered on the east with Gilgit-Baltistan, southeast is Swat, and north and northeast by China and the Wakhan corridor of Afghanistan. Now, a little about their culture and heritage. Chitral has a unique culture. It is brilliant. It is developed over millennia with more than a dozen ethnic races speaking their own languages, and then it becomes a mixture of one language equally understood by all living in that area. Chitral's artisans manufacture a range of elegant and beautifully individually handcrafted pieces of art, I would say. I have some pieces of their jewelry in silver, danglers and chain with pendants and rings, and each piece is handmade. And not one piece is like the other. They would have produced thousands by now, millions, but not one piece like the other. It's amazing. Their woodwork, handcrafted, is and their special wool that they produce called shoe, shoe. It makes into beautiful house coats. It's so warm that it's mind blowing. It has a very huge market in the rest of Pakistan. And usually their artisans use woodwork, embroidery, woven and knitted textiles, clay, wood, stone, and copper. Talking about their food, oh my God, it's awesome. They don't use a lot of spices. What they do is to use a homemade ghee, oil, or alternately with a bit of homemade butter. And one spice I couldn't put my name to because I've never used it or heard of it. But that simply takes out the flavor of the meat itself. And it is luscious. I mean, it beats any steak I've had anywhere in the world. You just cannot match the taste. But wait, let me tell you about their dry fruits. Now, some of their dry fruits are not available anywhere else in Pakistan. And it is so cheap that it's unbelievable. We end up paying an arm and a leg for the same stuff in a very little quantity if we buy it outside of the northern area. Now, what are these? Glazed bananas. Yep, glazed bananas. You know, when you take a banana and you do little thin slices, they glaze it in sugar and sugared water and stuff, and you can keep it for months in a jar. It's perfectly okay. Dried peaches. Then they have salted cherries, and that is so amazing. I mean, I don't know what they put into it, but there is such a slight, very pleasant, salty, and a tangy taste mixed with the sweetness of the cherries. And like I said, with the bananas, you can just jar it and keep it for months or years. It's not going to go bad. And then dried black mulberry. It is lovely. And of course, walnuts. Uh, the music. Music is at the heart of the very culture of Chitral. But you know what I saw over there? That when you see a dance, like the hotel, the inn organized a dance for us, uh, and there was a bonfire and it was cold and we were sitting outside and enjoying a hot cup of chocolate. And there were these male dancers in their traditional clothes, and there's a Chitrali guitar, sitar, which is unparalleled, a very different kind of a sitar, and very famous throughout the world. And the dhol, you know, what they put around their neck, and they beat the drums. And they danced in their frock-like dances, white with multicolored waistcoats and their caps, traditional caps, and so graceful. It was amazing. And another thing, their men are very handsome, extremely handsome. I mean, we beat the Greek gods by a mile. I'm telling you guys, the women must be nice as well. But whenever I saw a woman, she was so heavily shrouded in a burqa and her face was covered and everything that I really never got to see their faces. And the kids are so friendly. They first would wave us from afar, and then they would come close to us and we would offer a chocolate or something, and we would become great friends. And they would try to explain stuff for us in their language. And one thing that I realized, that even the stray dogs were very well looked after and well fed. And the people over there would, bathe them, and their skins were shining. And it was so clean. The streets, the place was so clean that it was amazing. And now about Ayun Fort Inn. For those of you who think that going to a distant place like Chitral, what kind of living arrangements are you going to find? But trust you me, you will be amazed. My editor will be showing you some pictures of the place. It's beautiful. It's as modern as it comes, with every amenity, your Wi-Fi, computers, blah, blah. But the furniture gives you a touch of the Chitrali culture, with the colorful quilts thrown over, with their traditional handmade furniture, wood, of course, and coverlets of shoe fabric. It's really beautiful. And they have lawns on acres of land, beautiful orchids, flowers of every kind, flowers that I don't even know their names, I've never seen them. And sitting places, natural streams flowing. And those acres of lawns just kind of walks into the mountains, you know what I mean? And their breakfast was the best part. They make daily batches of their own jams. Apricot is the best, although they have peaches and multi-fruit and you name it. They make their own fresh butter. They make their own cheese, and they take honey out from the honey hives that they've cultivated in an area. They don't commercialize it, they don't keep it, they just do it enough for the house guests. And it's amazing. Their breakfast is, and they don't serve it to outsiders, they just for the house guests. And now the last part, but not the least, the Kailash Valley. Now, the Kailash Valley has only 3,000 people. It is a small religion, an ethnic minority in Pakistan. The Kailash religion is polytheist faith, closer to paganism and the earlier days of Hinduism. And the people offer sacrifices to their gods. Their culture is interlinked with exotic festivals and feasts. Unfortunately, when I was there was no time for any of these feasts, but and festivals. But I heard a lot from the local people about it. They do cohabit. They do not like to cohabit with the Muslims or the local population, but they are friendly people. It doesn't mean that they abhor them or dislike them, but they keep themselves to themselves. Very simple people. But the women will usually wear a black frock like dress with their typical Kalashi hat and the front and the sleeves covered with their multicolored embroidery. And one thing I must say, these people, not just the Kalash, but the Chitrali people, have an eye for the color. The designing they are doing, the color combinations they are using. It's amazing, like every person is an artist. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next time you want to go anywhere, go to Chitral, go to Ayun Fort Inn, and you will be in for such a wonderful surprise, especially if you like walks and treks. Till the next time, this is Yasmin Aftab Ali from Yasmin Aftab Ali.